Hello, welcome to the morning news. A coalition force led by Saudi Arabia began a military campaign against the Houthi rebels in Yemen Thursday. Warplanes launched attacks on the Yemeni capital of Sana'a, with reports indicating that dozens of civilians have been killed so far. The massive operation could involve up to 150,000 troops and 100 fighter jets. Saudi Arabia has closed Yemeni airspace and warned against navigation in Yemen Sea. Both the White House and Saudi officials confirmed the U.S. has provided logistical and intelligence support for the operation.
We have had very fruitful and very productive discussions with the U.S., and we are very pleased with the outcome of those discussions. And I would like to just leave it at this and have you talk to our American friends about the details of how they see it from their side. But overall, we are extremely pleased and extremely appreciative of the support that we have received from our allies around the world, and in particular from the United States.
In what Argentine officials call a clear provocation, the United Kingdom is once again reinforcing its illegal military occupation of the Malvinas Islands, ignoring the UN resolutions and international law. Our correspondent Laureano Ponce has more.
Under the pretext of an Argentine invasion, the United Kingdom decided to increase its military presence in the Malvinas Islands by deploying 2 helicopters and renewing their missile systems. However, several international organizations like the Organizations of American States and Latin American organizations such as UNASUR and CELAC have shown their support for the Argentine position on the island.
This has to do with an idea of colonization, against which Latin America has already proven to it will stand up and confirm they are states which are absolutely sovereign.
But both the Argentine opposition and the government say it is a political move by the British government to ramp up nationalist support in an elections.
I believe that this is an attempt to justify to British citizens the power that the military has and is using to put pressure on the British government. It is a situation where British citizens are worried about the crisis they are going through, so they do not fully understand why the UK needs to spend so much money in the 2,000 people living in Malvinas.
This further escalation of the Malvinas dispute also means that Argentina might rethink its already cool relations with the UK.
I think that Argentina must strengthen its whole strategy, not only about the presence in international forums and the claim to recover full sovereignty of the Argentine territory of the Malvinas Islands, but also and mainly to start and to discuss things that are so important, such as the role that British companies are playing in our country.
The Argentine government issued a communique on Tuesday in which it said that the supposed threat of an invasion is ridiculous and requested the UK to follow the UN resolutions that request the British government to start negotiations with Argentina over the islands. Laureano Ponce, Telesur, Buenos Aires.
Chile officials urged the people as heavy rains flooded towns in the northern region of Atacama. The government declared a state of emergency and the army has been called in to assist. Thousands have been left without electricity or water. Torrential rains pounded the area, killing at least 2 people and leaving 600 homeless. In Mexico, media rights groups and journalists gathered to express their deep concern over a growing trend of aggressions, violence, and censorship. Our correspondent in Mexico, Clennon Khan, brings us more.
Journalists from across Mexico and even parts of the globe gathered in Mexico City in a forum organized by the media workers' rights group Article 19 to analyze the state of the media. For Adriana Ortiz, a Mexican journalist who survived an assassination attempt, the profession is in the crosshairs.
We are completely defenseless. The authorities do not respond. The authorities are omissive. The authorities are inefficient. And in many cases, the majority, the authorities are complicit, or even those who commit the aggression.
Article 19 presented its annual report on violence committed against journalists in Mexico titled State of Censorship. The organization affirms that the right to a free press and freedom of expression continues to deteriorate in the country.
There is a constant deterioration of what we have been registering over the past several years. The aggression towards journalists during the administration of Enrique Peña Nieto have doubled compared to that of Felipe Calderón.
The report comes off the heels of the firing of a popular and critical radio journalist along with her investigative team whose reporting exposed major political corruption and human rights abuses committed by the military. Some argue that this only harkens back to Mexico's 71-year one-party rule of media censorship.
We have a regime in restoration, in at least the area of communication. It is showing signs that it is a new authoritarian regime.
Meanwhile, foreign journalists participating in the forum affirm that the state of censorship goes beyond just a free press to the new plurality of digital media that they argue threatens the state's so-called monopoly on secrets.
Powerful nations and large corporations don't want us to have the right to whisper anymore. Like, if you and I are having a private conversation and I don't want anyone else to hear it, I can whisper to you. What's the digital equivalent of a whisper? The digital equivalent of a whisper is being able to secure your communications so no one else can intercept them.
According to Article 19's report, in the first 2 years of the current administration of Enrique Peña Nieto, aggressions towards journalists have gone up by 80% compared to the previous administration of Felipe Calderón. Clayton Cantelo Sur, Mexico City.
Please join us for a special Twitter discussion with Melitón Ortega, relative of one of the forcibly disappeared Ayotzinapa students, to mark 6 months since they went missing. Questions can be sent using the hashtag AskAyotzinapa or email askayotzinapa@gmail.com. As officials continue to investigate the circumstances around the Germanwings crash, the families and regional leaders are mourning the loss of the 150 people on board. French officials say that one of the pilots was locked out of the cockpit just before the plane went down. They added that the other pilot may have deliberately downed the plane, although no other information has been released. German Chancellor Angela Merkel, French President François Hollande, and the President of the Spanish government, Mariano Rajoy, arrived to the town near the crash site Wednesday to pay their respects. The victims of the Barcelona-Dusseldorf flight were nationals from Argentina, Colombia, Chile, and Mexico. Rescue crews in Vietnam are searching for survivors after a huge scaffolding collapsed Wednesday, killing 14 workers and injuring 30. The accident occurred at the seaport complex owned by a Taiwanese company that subcontracted the Vietnamese workers. 2 of the killed are still trapped under the rubble. Officials said many of the injured were in critical condition. As European soccer looks to crack down on racism, 5 Chelsea fans are fighting a ban on them after being accused of attacking an African-American man following a game in Paris. Prior to Chelsea's Champions League match against Paris Saint-Germain in February, a group of fans of the British team were filmed keeping a commuter off the train as they chanted racist slogans. The 5 accused appeared in a London court saying they will challenge the soccer ban and orders for the incident. Chelsea Football Club released a statement calling the acts abhorrent and saying they have no place in football or society. More on this on our website telesurtv.net/English. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.